Hi YouTube! So I am back with another cosplay makeup tutorial. Today we will be doing Niffty from Hazbin, and I think it's kind of funny. This is going to be, my fourth makeup tutorial, and all of them have been Hazbin so far. I I like the show, alright? I'm a fan. Sue me, okay? I like cosplaying characters from shows I like. Sorry, I paused there. I'm tired. It's like 1 in the morning. It's also a school day. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself. All I do is I'm hurting myself, and I can't help it. Anyway, let's get into it, because I'm tired of these videos being an hour and a half long. So I didn't show this before, but I go in with a moisturizer first. I personally use this one. I love it. Works well. I just take a thick glob and get it all over my face, focusing in the parts that tend to get dry or cakey with my makeup, and then I also go down my neck with any excess. And then we just rub it in like normal. Okay, now I'm gluing down my eyebrows again, and I did this before. It's really not as It's really not as hard as it seems. I personally use a glue stick, but honestly, if you're really desperate, I've seen people do it with liquid glue. It's really not hard at all. You just want to make sure you get as much glue in the hair follicles as you can. And then what I do, I know it's nasty and dirty, but I use this eyebrow comb kind of thing, and I just run it up through the hairs, and then I use the flat part of it to really just flatten it and push it down and make sure no hairs are standing up. Okay, now while I'm letting the eyebrows dry, I'm going to be going in with my Milani Clean Start Prep Step Facial Mist as another part of my skin prep. I'll need a couple sprays, and then I fan it a little bit, and then I sort of press it into my skin like you would with a toner. And actually, I didn't know you were supposed to press in a toner like that. I only found that out recently. I found it out like a week and a half ago. So, I didn't know. I've always been rubbing it in, but I guess you're supposed to press to make sure it soaks up the best. And then I'm going in with my Maybelline Do Your Grippy Serum. Love this primer. It's great. Works very well. You just get a couple drops. Now that we've got our skin prep and our primer on, what I do is I use the Babasuka white face paint. I have this big jar, and I love it, and I use it all the time. And what I do is I actually take a very light foundation shade. This is the LA Colors Truly Matte Long Wearing High Pigment Foundation, and I put a pump or two in it, and then I just take this face spreading brush, and honestly I think it came with this laterite painting palette I have, which I love and I use all the time when I'm cosplaying. I mix the foundation in, and you want to really work it in so that way it doesn't feel too much like an actual foundation and you still get your white pigment in there. I mix the foundation in so it doesn't sit too heavy on your face. It doesn't feel greasy like a normal face paint does, or at least I feel like it doesn't. I don't know if this is something everybody does though, but I started doing it a long time ago, honestly, and it really helps me be a little bit more comfortable in my makeup instead of it feeling so heavy and so hot and so just greasy on my face and everything. So I really like it. And then what I do is I go in and I sort of press the white face paint over my eyebrows. Try to get in between every hair and everything like that. Okay, now it's time to blend it out. Okay, now that we've got it all blended out, it's time to go in with our contour. So this is the same thing I did with the white face paint. What I did is I just added in a drop of foundation and mixed it in there to give it a little bit more of a liquid kind of feel. I don't know, I'm really bad at explaining things. I did it for the exact same reason I did the white face paint. It's literally just because it feels better on my skin rather than it being so heavy and so greasy and just really tiring to carry around, if that makes sense. That's why I don't do foundation on most days. I'll do a bright fun eyeshadow look, and then I won't put any foundation or anything on, just because sometimes it just feels so damn heavy on my face and I just can't put up with it, if that makes sense. it's just hard to deal with, and I don't like having it on my face all the time. Okay, I blended out the rest of my contour with my beauty blender, but what I do around my lips and my nose is I take a brush and I blend it out, and really by that I just mean I kind of dab the brush around it, because this is where I want the contour to be kind of the most pigmented. I want it to be the most noticeable here. So I'm just taking the brush and I'm dabbing it around to blend it in. I do this first and then I'll go in with a beauty blender if I think it's still like too pigmented to drawn on. And also I apologize if I'm like going really fast or anything like that. I'm just trying to speed it up because usually when I do these makeup tutorials, the videos end up being like an hour long. I think my shortest one was like 45 minutes. So like I'm really trying to speed it up so I can figure out how to make my videos shorter, because me personally on YouTube, even with tutorials and stuff like that, if the video is more than like 30 minutes long, I don't want to watch it, really. That might be because of my like short attention span or stuff, but it just makes me like not want to watch a video because I know I can find it shorter somewhere else. So I'm just trying to get my videos to be shorter, you know. I'm just trying to make my videos something that like I would want to watch personally. Now this time for Niffty, I'm actually deciding to add blush. I'm going in with my She Glam blush. I'm so sorry. This is shade Color Bloom Liquid Blush on Point. I'm not sure exactly what the shade is. Sometimes it's hard to tell, okay? I'm new to this influencer stuff. You gotta give me some time. But I'm sort of just adding it in right here, and then I also wanted to add it up here. And yes, I'm still kind of doing makeup on the eye I'm covering. I do that just because I still want my makeup to look symmetrical, even if it's not going to kind of show up on camera, if that makes sense. So the goal I'm going for with Niffty is to do this kind of creepy, cute kind of thing, because she is very like adorable in the show, and it's also because I personally just really love being cute, and so I put a lot of work into her costume to make it so I could be all cute and stuff like that, because I like being all feminine and cutesy and shit like that. I just think it's fun, especially because I don't typically dress or do my makeup that way, so I think it's nice to be able to dress up. That's kind of the whole point of cosplay. That's why I do characters like Princess Peach and all that. And then, on the other hand of the spectrum, that's also why I do characters like Evelyn and Cassidy, so I can be creepy, you know? I just like cosplay a lot, because I can just be whoever I want to be, you know? Alright, setting powder time. Same placement as before, we focus it around the eyes and under the eyes. Specifically for my days where I do like a full face paint and everything like that, I tend to use a lot more setting powder than pressed powder as compared to what I do when I'm doing like, you know, just my regular foundation and stuff like that. Just because even with me adding the foundation into the mix, it's still very heavy. It just makes it feel lighter on the face. And then we're still using my drag queen's trick I learned to help set your nose and make it look skinnier and snatched and all that. And I apologize that I keep looking off to this direction. My mirror is over here, so I'm trying to do stuff on camera, but I can see better with my mirror over here than I can in my phone camera, if that makes sense. I forgot to mention this before, but I'm using my NYX Professional Makeup translucent setting powder, and then I'm using my NYX Professional Makeup translucent pressed powder to set all my makeup. I'm focusing on this side the most because this is where Niffty's eye is going to be covered. I think, at least. I'm going to have to double check my wig. But like this is where the hair is going to be resting, and I don't want any makeup to come up on the wig, because anybody else that paints their face for cosplays, I'm sure knows the struggle of when you do a cosplay and then you take it off and then there's a whole bunch of face paint and stuff like that stuck to your wig, and it throws off the vibe and it just makes the wig look like greasy and dirty, and I just hate it with a passion, so I try to avoid it as much as possible. And by that I mean I bake and set my makeup like freaking crazy. We want this to be matte. Okay, while my nose is baking, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my eyebrows. I'm taking this like extremely thin angled brush and I put some black face paint on it while I do my eyebrows. I'm going to try to do it in the phone camera. For Niffty, I was thinking of something similar like I did with the Speaker of God, where I do very short angled eyebrows, because personally I think that's just what's going to look best. I might have done them too sharp though, because I don't want to look like a wicked witch kind of thing, you know, but I do want them to be sharp, because personally I just like the way that looks, and I think it looks better on me than like straight eyebrows or anything. Very delicate art. Not really, honestly. Like I said, most of this is guesswork. I just kind of be doing stuff, and if it looks good, it looks good, and if it doesn't, I work until it makes it look good. See, I think this is cute. I'm happy with this. I'm going to add a little bit more on this side to make it more pigmented. Well, like, see, I'm happy with this. We cool. Now I'm going to put some setting powder over it to make sure it doesn't rub off on anything. Okay, so for my contour, I'm using this Glitch Out She Glam palette, and I'm using the gray in it, because I think that's just kind of what looks the most natural for it at first. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with a darker gray on places that really need emphasis, like down my neck and jawline and on my nose. And we're really just putting contour in all the same places we put our contour before when it was in face paint form, just to add depth. I don't fucking know, make it look cool. Okay, now it is time for our nose contour. Okay, so for our nose contour, we're using the same gray we used before, and we're just following along the lines we had already set out. Just adding more emphasis, and I'm making the like button on my nose a little bit smaller. Nose contour isn't really as hard as it may seem. I used to struggle with it because I had no idea what I was doing, and I was kind of just drawing lines. But now I think I'm getting pretty good at it. And then what I do is I take my setting powder brush to blend it out a little bit. Just like that. And then I think I'm going to go in with a little bit of a darker gray to add some more emphasis. Okay, now what I'm doing to make the nose look even more snatched, I'm going in with this Makeup Professional palette, and I'm going to be using this white here along the sides of my nose. We're going to try to pack like a lot on, but this side needs more emphasis than this side on the snatched. I think I might have put a little bit more setting powder on this side than I did the other, so this one needs some more help to catch up. There we go. See, I think that's much better for our nose contour. And then I'm adding some more blush. I'm going to be using this like light pink right here, and I'm just dusting it across my cheeks where we put the blush before to add some more emphasis on the rosiness of it. I'm still probably going to do her little circles, but what I like to do is I like to add like an airbrushed kind of look to it around the circles to make it look more blended out and a little bit less cartoony. I go back and forth. Sometimes I really like the cartoony look, and then sometimes I want it to be a little bit more realistic. So I go back and forth a lot. But, you know, cosplay is a creative expression of yourself, so you can kind of just do whatever you want. There are no rules to this at all. So do whatever makes you happy, do whatever you want. As long as you're not hurting somebody else, you're fine. And there we go. There is our official base, all done and put together. We're looking snatched and we're looking cute. Alright, now time to get into the fun stuff. So I just double checked my wig, and I found out that this eye is actually going to be the uncovered one, and this one's going to be covered. So I put like a speck of black right here to kind of remind me that this eye is going to be the one that's covered, so I can put more effort into this one than this one. I basically still do the same like eyeshadow and everything like that. I just don't put eyeliner or lashes on this eye really. But it also helps because now I get to have like a sort of practice eye, so I can figure out what I'm doing, and then I can put the actual thing onto this eye to make it look better. Okay, now first things first, I'm using this She Glam palette, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with this color right here, and sort of just dust it all over the eyelid. Yes, I know this brush has some leftover pigment on it. I'm okay with that. I specifically picked that brush for that reason. It may seem odd to some people, but I sometimes don't clean certain brushes or wait a while to clean them because they have certain colors that I use them for and certain purposes. So like, for example, this is my hot pink brush. You know, this is my blue brush. And like I have some other ones where I purely use red on them, and then this was my white brush. I do that a lot of the times. Usually this is like my medium pink brush, but it's kind of stained orange from the last time I cosplayed Glamrock Chica. So, you know, it's okay. Okay, now I'm going to be using my Profusion Neon palette, and I'm going to be going in with this color right here. This one is named Bro. I'm going to be using my red brush. And since this is my practice eye, I'm doing this one first so I can, you know, literally practice and figure out if I like what I'm doing or not. And then if I don't like it, obviously I can try something different on the other eye. We're focusing on the outer quarter, blending inwards, and we're sort of doing a round sheet to emphasize the big eyes and everything like that, because we don't want her to look too snatched. This is a trick I've kind of always used whenever I cosplay characters that are children or look like children. Such as, you know, Cassidy, Evelyn, Victor, Hargreaves, not, Arcane Victor. What other children do I cosplay? Can't remember many right now, but the trick I always do is I always try to round around the eye with them, and then if I'm cosplaying a more mature looking character, I tend to try to sharpen it a little bit. That's just something I do. Honestly, I don't even know if it really has that much of an effect, but I personally do it anyway. Alright, I do like this, so we're going to copy it over to the other eye. Okay, now I'm going to be going in with this orangish color right here. This one is named Gnarly. Cat's eye reference. I'm trying to incorporate lots of yellows and oranges into this makeup look because it's kind of the colors that revolve around Nifty's character, really. I mean, even her powers are like red, orange, and yellow, and I really like that about her. And a lot of people complain that the show is too red, but I mean, like, what other colors are hell? You know, the story takes place in hell. We see some different color schemes, but most of them, like in heaven, are like pastels and brighter colors and everything. Brighter colors, sorry. And everything like that. I mean, me personally, when I think of hell, I think of like red, black, orange, yellow, shit like that. So, I mean, to me, it makes sense that the show is very red, but I don't know, that's just my opinion. I tend to have a lot of Hazbin hot takes that some people don't agree with. Anyway, okay, we're still using our neon palette. I'm going to be going in with this yellow one right here. This one is named Sunny's. I'm going to be applying it with my finger because yellow is such a tricky color in the sense that a lot of the times if you apply with a brush, it won't come on right. I mean, even look at it now, I'm applying it with my finger and you can't even see it that well, you know. Yellow just isn't a very pigmented color compared to some others. Like red, I can take a little bit of red and you can see it. I take yellow and it's harder to see it, if that makes sense. And then what we're doing is we're using this greenish yellow kind of glitter. It looks a little bit more green in person, but on camera it shows up yellow. I have to sneeze, I apologize. Oh, you bitch. Oh, you... Okay, don't piss me off. It went away. God damn it. Alright, anyway. Glitter, because I love glitter. Oh, wow, that's actually a very pretty color. I've literally never used this glitter before, and now I'm yelling at myself because that's... I like it a lot. It's very pretty. That's a very pretty color. I'm mad that I haven't used that before. Okay, anyway, moving on. You know, this video is going a lot faster than my other ones. And I'm kind of glad about that, because I'm really tired of editing hour-long videos. I'd rather edit, like, 20-30 minute long videos. Okay, anyway, now we're going to be going in with this Morph X Jocelyn Hill palette. This is, like, a green, yellowy, gold kind of one. Let me read it. This doesn't seem to have, like, a shade or any sort of indicator on it. But anyway, it looks like this. And we're really just... I'm so sorry. I need to apologize, because these are expensive palettes. Which I didn't buy. They were gifts. But we're using this sparkly VIP color. because y'all know me, I love glitter, okay? You can't blame me. I just love glitter so much because it's so pretty. Oh wow, that's pigmented. I actually kind of regret using this glitter. Usually glitters are kind of translucent, but this is like a pigmented glitter. And now it feels wrong because I feel like it took away from the yellow and the orange. Oh, never mind. Wait, this is really cute. I like this. Hold on. This is really cute. And then I did put some here, so I'm just going to blend that out real quick. Wait, that's cute. I like that. It kind of muted the yellow, but not so much to the point where it's like really hard to tell the yellow. Okay, we're using this Guilt Trip color right here. And we're just adding a little bit more in right here to get some of that pigment back. Oh, look at that. That's cute. I like that. I like that a lot. That's really cute. Okay, we're going to be adding a little bit more red over here. And honestly, I didn't even put any more pigment on. This is just leftover from what I originally had in the brush. I just want to emphasize some more of the red right here. I mentioned this a little bit ago, but a lot of people would be like, it's not worth it to do eyeshadow on this eye. And like, I do it for the sense of, yeah, practice eye, but I also just do it because I enjoy this. You know, I enjoy doing my makeup and doing this stuff. Sometimes I get into cosplay just to have an excuse to do my makeup. You know, they experiment with different styles and dress up and stuff, and I think it's cute. So it's just fun. I just enjoy it, you know? It's just a fun thing to do. So yeah, it's not really worth it. Technically, you could say it's like a waste of product or whatever, but it makes me happy. I'm having fun. Alright, now we're going in with our She Glam Online Creamy Eyeliner pen. And we're going to be doing this, I think this is called like tight lining, but, or, you know, putting it on the tight line. I've always just seen this as like putting eyeliner in your waterline. I don't know, things always get new names. Like, for example, the whole Yumi shipping thing. I think it's dumb. I'm not calling it Yumi shipping, okay? It's self-shipping. Just say it's self-shipping. It's been self-shipping. And what makes me mad, specifically, is people would be like, oh, self-shipping is cringe. Self-shipping is cringe. And then be like, oh, Yumi shipping, yada, yada, yada. And it makes me mad because it's like, oh, so y'all are gonna laugh at people when it's self-shipping, but they put a cute Japanese word in front of it and suddenly everybody loves it. Okay. Things always get new names for no reason. And that, like, really shows that branding is such an important thing. Because it's like, if you have a good, like, publicity team, you can basically do anything. I mean, I've said this before, but in my opinion, like, hair mascara and brow gel, same thing, different marketing, you know? If you put a cute name on something like that, it's going to be a lot more accepted than something else, you know? If that makes sense. I don't know, I'm rambling, I'm sorry. I always do this. I always apologize for it, too. And then I continue to do it again. I try to keep my space as organized as I can. I just don't like it when things get messy and out of place. I mean, the whole point for me having my vanity and everything like that is so I can organize. Sorry, the phone stand went in front of one of my drawers where a palette goes, so I had to move the camera. But yeah, the whole point of my vanity is to be able to organize and do these things. So to me, it always makes me upset. And like, it feels like something's off if stuff is like slightly out of place. Okay, now this is very experimental, but what I'm also doing is I'm adding some of the red under my nose and on it to give like a cute little blushed kind of look. I tend to focus a lot of blush right here whenever I'm cosplaying characters that are children or look like children. And, like, you can't, I know Niffty is not a child, you know, I'm not trying to sit here and be like, yeah, she's a child, because you don't want to, infantilize her, especially because, you know, she was literally, like, an overlord and everything like that. She's not a child, but she does look like one. You can't look at her and tell me she doesn't look like a child. And there are some people out there, like, that, you know, real-life people that genuinely look like children out there. And it's like, they can't help it, you know, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend Niffty does not look like a child. So yeah, I'm going to heavily judge you. I'm heavily judging anybody that's like, I have a fictional crush on Niffty. You need to be put on a list. Because why do you look... It's giving the same thing as, like, those anime things where it'll be, like, the person, like, the girl is, like, 3,000 years old, but she looks like a 9-year-old, so then people try to justify having, like, fictional crushes and stuff on them and having body pillows of them and shit, and being like, well, actually, she's 3,000. Okay, but she looks 9. You need to be put on a list. Wrap it up. It makes me, like, uncomfortable when people do that. Or the people that, like, don't even have, like, crushes on her or anything like that, but straight up just sexualize her. It's genuinely insane the amount of things I've seen where it's sexualizing Niffty. Because I'm like, you're gonna look at her and sexualize her out of the entire cast. Anybody you could sexualize. Angel Dust is right there. And you're gonna go for the one that looks like a kid. Oh. How are those Diddy parties? Because I'm concerned. I want you far away from me. So, for her lips, I've been going back and forth, but I think I'm going to do black. I'm using my Quibest black lip liner to go in. And I'm just outlining that like you normally would. I'm going over my Cupid's bow just because I think it's cuter. I'm probably going to speed this part up in post because I can't really talk while doing it, and I hate having long segments where I'm not talking and not really, like, doing much. It just feels so awkward, so I'm probably going to speed this up. Okay, there we go. I think that looks cute. Hold on. There we go. I think that's cute. And then I thought about doing black lipstick, but personally, I'm going to go in with a black eyeshadow just because I think that's going to be better. Forgive me, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Just because I think that's going to be better for a more matte, less intimidating look. Now, obviously, I know a black lipstick would be more pigmented, but for me, the ones I have are, like, really, really dark to the point where it's kind of scary and hard to use, because one slight mess up and the entire makeup is ruined. So I prefer doing eyeshadow, because if I screw up, at least it's a little bit easier to cover. See, I screwed it up here, but it was a lot easier to cover. Now imagine if I was doing that with a black lipstick. I would never get it off. I'd be over here rubbing till the end of time. I might as well just take a makeup wipe and start over. Okay, it's eyeliner time. I am going to be using a smaller mirror so I can really see what I'm doing, but I am going to try very hard to make it so you guys can also see what I'm doing, because eyeliner is a little bit tricky to get into. But it's not hard once you start getting the hang of it, but if you're like a beginner, it is going to be very tricky. Well, I don't know, it depends. For me, it wasn't that hard to get into, but that was because my older sister had always done, like, had always practiced makeup on me when I was little. I don't like that, see? I don't like that. That's why this is the practice eye, because this is going to be covered. Anyway, but for me, it wasn't that hard to get into eyeliner because my sister had did it on me when I was younger, and it's also because I'm just a pretty quick learner, and for me, I guess I had always been doing eyeliner. Just what I did is I just took a sharp brush and I put some like brown eyeshadow on it, and I just went in and basically did what I'm doing with the eyeliner now. So maybe that's why it was less tricky for me, which is also something I do recommend doing, honestly, if you're just now getting into eyeliner and all that stuff. Use eyeshadow first. That's why I used eyeshadow on my lips, because it was easier to fix, and if I use my black lipstick, same thing with eyeliner. I suggest using eyeshadow if you're just now getting into eyeliner and you think it's confusing or you're scared of it. Use eyeshadow. You can use eyeshadow for literally anything. It does not matter. I use eyeshadow for my brows all the time and all that stuff. Speaking of which, I am actually going to go in and mess with this a little bit more with some black eyeshadow. But yeah, just use eyeshadow. Really, it's not as like scary as you might think it is, and it's easier to fix. So yeah, I would recommend taking a sharp angled brush, like something like this, very thin, get some black eyeshadow on it, and just kind of go around the natural, like, corner of your eye and figure out what you want to do. Now, I almost forgot about this, but now it is time to do her little corner of the lips circle thing. So what I'm just doing is I'm just taking my red eyeshadow, and I'm kind of just marking a spot right over here. We're going to do like a pretty small circle, nothing too big. Just kind of just sit around. Just like that. See, I think that's cute. And then what I'm also doing is I'm adding some pink in there. Because personally, I don't like it when things are like an orange red. I want them to be like a pink red, if that makes sense. Also because it reminds me of Pilot Niffty, because her vibe was a lot more pink than red in the pilot. And I'm a little nostalgic when it comes to the pilot. Okay, now it is time for lashes. So I already have my lash glue on them, and now I'm just waiting for them to dry. I just realized, I put the lash glue on this side when this one's going to be covered, so I'm actually just going to set this down and wait for it to dry before I put it back in the pack. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lash glue on the eye that actually matters. Sorry about that, force of habit. I don't cosplay a lot of one-eyed characters, I think. What, I have Cherry Bomb, and 2 other one-eyed characters that I haven't posted yet, because I'm too lazy. Alright, spoiler alert, I've been planning on cosplaying Ragatha and Vaggie for a hot minute now, and I have everything to do their cosplay. I'm just lazy, and I'm not really invested in doing characters like Ragatha and Vaggie right now. I'm just not. And I feel bad, because, like, I can do characters like Niffty and Speaker of God. I can put together their cosplay and do it, like, in the same day. But Vaggie, she's been prepared for like a year now. Haven't done anything with her. Same with Ragatha. Alright, now it's time to put the lashes on. I apologize if you can't see. I fear I got lash glue directly into my eyeball. Sorry about that. That just really hurt for some reason. Come on, get in there. Sorry, I promise I'm really trying to do things on camera. I am. I'm just not good at it. I'll get better about it as I do more uploads, of course. Alright, now that we've got our full makeup ready, now it is time to get into costume. So here is the finished look of our little darling Niffty. This is how it looks up top. Honestly, this thing is kind of just strung together, so it's not exactly the greatest work I've done, but honestly, I do really like the way it looks. Hold on. Look at how pretty. I look so cute. Alright, catch me over on TikTok. I'm gonna go. Bye!